Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. Today's video, I wanted to talk about a lot of the rumors going out there about the wide receiver position. Acquiring a free agent wide receiver. Talking about one of the big names out there that they're trying to associate with New York Giants. And then lastly, who I think are some realistic targets in free agency at the wide receiver position. Now, the main thing that went out a couple days ago, has been the rumors for a while now actually, is T. Higgins from the Cincinnati Bengals. Hold on, wait a minute. Before this video starts, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're getting into the off season. We're getting into free agency, draft time, combine time, and you want to get this Giants content. And what I'd like to do is provide that Giants content for you. And I look at my YouTube stats, and it's telling me that 95% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you're tuned in right now and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It'll be truly appreciated. Let's go, Giants. Will the Giants be trading for T. Higgins of the Cincinnati Bengals? Now, I put out a tweet saying that you know, it's getting out of hand. You know, all these rumors about the New York Giants possibly trading for T. Higgins has to stop. And in my opinion, I think it has to stop. One of the main things that I keep hearing is that, you know, look what Philadelphia did. We're in the same spot that Philadelphia was before they traded for A.J. Brown. And I can see why people believe that. Last year, you know, they had a record of 9-8. This year we had a record of 9-7-1. We went to the playoffs like they went to the playoffs last year. They lost. They were one and done. We actually won a game and then lost to them in the playoffs. So I see why people are saying that we're, you know, possibly saying that T. Higgins might be the answer. But for me, I don't believe that the New York Giants are that wide receiver away, you know, from a championship. Now, don't get me wrong. If I believed that we were just a T. Higgins away, then absolutely you try to go get T. Higgins. But I'm looking at this defense. I'm seeing all these holes on this defense. I'm seeing how we lost some of our games, how we were not able to stop the run. And a lot of these playoff teams, they're able to stop the run. And I'm just looking, I'm saying we're more than just a T. Higgins away. So that's the reason why I posted what I posted. That's why I say, you know, we're not a T. Higgins away. And I don't want to go ahead and allocate what it would cost to acquire T. Higgins. The draft capital, and then turning around and paying him what could be, you know, market money. You know, 20 plus. You know, for a wide receiver. And I'm looking at the cap and what we need to do as a team. Obviously, you know, we're thinking about re-signing Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley. You got other free agents out there too that possibly can be restructured. You're looking at Julian Love too, and you're like, okay, now you have to look at this thing. And another name they also bring up is Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers. And I think it's a similar situation where, you know, you're paying that for a premium and we don't know exactly how far we are away. I know how far the defense is, but this offense, not really sure. So hopefully you guys see where I'm coming from, see my angle. It's not like I'm saying T. Higgins is a bad player. It's about the position that the New York Giants are in and, you know, what it would take to try to keep this guy and acquire him, and what it would cost us versus how do we build up this team to be competitive in the division, the conference, and ultimately for championships. So hopefully you guys understand that. So, you know, pushing that to the side for a little bit, I want to talk about some possible wide receiver options in this free agency. And it's not going to be a great list of names. I'm looking at the wide receiver market. There are some people there, but when you're thinking about our cap space, thinking about how far we are from possibly competing, I thought about some names that could be role players, not superstars, but role players, because I do think that we address the wide receiver position also in the draft this year. So this is not in any particular order of wide receivers that are free agents, just some guys I have on my list. Okay, so the number one guy I'm thinking about is our own guy, and that's possibly bringing back Richie James. Of course, that's not a big splash, I understand that, but the chemistry he's built with Daniel Jones. We've seen him make some key catches, convert some third downs, and you need that type of player. Now, Richie James on the team next year, as far as his wide receiver spot, he should not be more than a 4 or 5. You know what I mean? Because when you're looking at Richie James compared to the rest of the league, you know, it's not a big name. It's not a certain skill set, but you saw Richie James with the New York Giants this past season, and you see that he can have a role. But I don't want him being our primary target, probably like he was this year. Like I said, I think Daniel Jones and Richie James, that chemistry, probably made Richie James some money in this offseason. So we'll see what happens if he wants to come back to the Giants. But Richie James is a guy that I'm thinking about re-signing. And when you're looking at the wide receiver room, you have Isaiah Hodgins, Wan'Dale Robinson, Colin Johnson. That's it. We don't know what's going to happen with Sterling Shepard. Wan'Dale Robinson is hurt. Colin Johnson is hurt as well. These guys are coming back. Not sure exactly when they're going to be coming back. So you have to think about not just that superstar splash wide receiver. You're talking about filling up this wide receiver room. So Richie James, in my opinion, we should look at as a re-signing, not a big splash, but as a contributor in that wide receiver room. The next name I want to talk about is Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman will be a free agent. Now, Mecole Hardman has shined a lot, and he might be the highest person on this list of guys that I'm talking about. And I saw his market value was at like $11 million per. And even that is high for a guy like Mecole Hardman, in my opinion. And we saw what he can do with the Kansas City Chiefs, but also he's playing with Patrick Mahomes, and Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, and all these guys where their scheme is fantastic. And I know Mike Kafka is here, and he has some familiarity with Mecole Hardman. So that's a guy that I'm also looking at. He's a speedster. He can take the top off the defense. He can keep a defense honest. And these are the type of people that you need in this offense, especially when everybody's heavy in the box with Saquon Barkley. You want to be able to try to threaten on the outside. So Mecole Hardman is a guy that I'm looking at. Probably cost you around $11 million, a season. So he's a little bit on the high end as well. Another guy I want to talk about is DJ Chark. Now, DJ Chark was in Jacksonville. Then he went and played this last season with Detroit. Only signed a 1-year deal. DJ Chark, tall receiver, which is what we need. Also a fast receiver and can catch the ball pretty well. He can run pretty good routes as well too. So he's another guy, a little bit cheaper than Mecole Hardman possibly, but again, a little bit on the higher end as well. But I think that if you get a guy like DJ Chark, you team him up with Isaiah Hodgins, now you have two twin towers, in a wide receiver room. What does that do for the offense? I think it helps stretch the offense as well, helps keep the defense honest. So DJ Chark, probably high on the list. Do the Detroit Lions want to let him go? Do they re-sign him? I'm thinking they will, because that offense looked pretty good with him in it. Also, does he want to leave? These are a lot of questions we have to ask, about these free agents as well, because everybody just throws a name out like they want to come to the New York Giants. Sometimes it's not about the money, it's about the destination. I do think that us going to the playoffs, winning the playoff game, our new coaching staff, it's more appealing than we've been in the past as far as, free agents wanting to come to New York. But again, do these guys want to leave? Now, the last guy I want to mention on my list, the money is good. The talent, he's probably a wide receiver 3, possibly a wide receiver 2 type of mix. Has the ability to give you some great plays, some great looks, good speed, good hands, can run after the catch. Good size too. Pause. 6 foot, 200 pounds, and that's going to be Paris Campbell. Played for the Indianapolis Colts at Ohio State. Market values around $2.5 million per. And for me, I think that's the sweet spot for what we're looking for, in an organization. Not this star number 1 receiver, because really the cap cannot afford it right now, especially with the moves we have to make this offseason. But a guy that can give you quality snaps, who's a speedster. He ran a 4.3 140, who can keep that defense honest. When you add him to the wide receiver room, you add him to Wan'Dale Robinson, Isaiah Hodgins, Colin Johnson. You're building a wide receiver room that has some credit if you add Paris Campbell. And again, I'm planning on these New York Giants addressing the wide receiver position in the draft as well. But I'm just looking at this free agent market of wide receivers. It's not the best. And the guys that are at the top of this list, I don't believe that the market value matches what the New York Giants are doing. So that's why I'm giving you these names, some in my opinion, some realistic targets in free agency. So I'll just run down that list again. I'm thinking about re-signing Richie James. I'm thinking about DJ Chark, McCole Hardman, and Paris Campbell. And I do really like Paris Campbell because I think, again, it doesn't force you to do anything. Normally, if you pick up a guy like T. Higgins, he's demanding the ball. You have to have a certain amount of targets, and then that becomes a strain on the quarterback in some cases. In some cases, it could be a good thing. Some cases, it could be a bad thing. But I'm just looking at that, even with Brandon Ayuk. He's a #1 guy. You traded a #1, a #2 pick for him. You also got to pay this guy big money. You want to be able to use him. And I think about, Kenny Galladay, how much money we paid Kenny Galladay, the expectation that we had on Kenny Galladay, and it falling short. And I know you don't want to operate out of fear. I always say that. But I'm looking at where this Giants team is right now. What we need, and we absolutely need to address the wide receiver position, but throwing $20 million at a wide receiver when you have all these holes as a team does not make sense to me. And like I said, this is just my opinion. But again, those are the 4 wide receivers that I have on my list as realistic targets in this offseason. Does Joe Shane think the same? I don't know. It's just what I'm thinking about at the time. And you know what? I want to thank you guys for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this list of wide receivers in the comments below. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little bit funny, especially when you throw out T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, and then I give you this list of guys that, you're kind of wishy-washy on. But again, I want to thank you guys for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.